Welcome back, everyone, to Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2024. Last time we faced off against the Villanova Wildcats in the Sweet 16 of the first season, and we lost a close game to Villanova, ending our season, unfortunately. But we were a 12 seed, and we're pretty fortunate to get as far as we did and to play the 1 seed Villanova Wildcats as close as we did. So all in all, I was pretty happy with the first season and the way things went. And this will be a video going into, I guess it would be the second off season, because when you start the game, you kind of play through the first off season. So this is kind of like the second off season, and we'll hopefully get through the whole off season in this video. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes, because in my memory, it seems like we did a couple of videos for the off season when we started. Don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes, and we'll go about an hour, maybe a tad over if we have to. And if we still have a while to go, we may split the off season up into a couple of different videos. But we're going to go ahead and get started. We do have the coaching carousel first, which is kind of pointless because I don't plan on moving anywhere, staying at Kentucky for the duration of this series, really. So I'm not going to be moving anywhere else. So we'll just skip on by. And we have some emails. It's actually our recruits from the off season we would have played a couple of months back, signing their letters of intent. Esmond Card, Kevin Eaton, Dana Church. Is this a job offer? Okay, so one of our assistant coaches left for a job at Loyola. So now we have to hire, we have at least one coaching position that is open. So we will deal with that right now. Look at the staff. It's the second assistant coach who decided to take another job. So we'll hire the second assistant. I guess the big news in the sports gaming community right now is the release of the new college football game, which I am interested in getting at some point. Let's see, Corsley Hart. Now, if you've never played these before, if there's like something outside from the name here, this means they're an assistant coach at another school. So if you were to go for Corsley Hart, he is an assistant coach at Xavier. So basically, if we were to go after this guy, we would be in contention for his job against Xavier. And, he's a pretty good, I mean, none of these candidates look like excellent hires, but um, if you look at the top of the list here, these top four are probably, because I usually just sort the list by reputation, and it tends to be a correlation between the higher the reputation, the higher everything else. So we kind of want to look at what these mean for us. And what's most important to Kentucky? We can see I kind of like this guy here, honestly, Ross Shivers from San Diego State. His recruiting numbers are pretty high. His player development is pretty, about mediocre, but it's a little bit better than the two above him. And he's a better recruiter than any of these top four candidates. Scouting, I've always thought was probably the least important amongst these attributes, so that doesn't bother me that bad that that's that low. Offense and defense, we're probably going to be putting our game plan into another coach's hands aside from this guy if we do go with this guy. Again, we can look at the staff again and see what the other assistant coaches are good at, because if they're good at offense and defense, then we can afford to go with him. But we do have, actually already have a pretty good recruiter in Steve Beckwith, who's a four-star recruiter. So we've already kind of have a pretty good recruiter, and he was ranked at a 78. The other coach we were looking at, so I don't know that we want to go. I think we need somebody maybe with some good player development. These guys are both only 2 stars, and that does kind of matter. I think someone with good player development and some good offensive and defensive knowledge that can help players become better. Once they're here, we can actually stick the practice portion on the new coach we hire, and we'll leave the scouting to this guy, because I never thought that scouting the opponents, I mean, I hate to say this, I want to sound like inside Kentucky joke. I want to sound like some of the stories on Coach Calipari the last couple of seasons, and how he has his student managers watching tape besides watching tape himself. But scouting ability, to me, I mean, you can kind of generally look at, if I were a real coach, it would matter more, but I'm talking about just in terms of the game. You can kind of look at the team coming up and know whether or not you have a good, tough matchup upcoming or a game you should win. And, this game, as far as the strategy, I wish it was more akin to the pro basketball game from this series. You can just kind of easily change your offense and defense around depending on who you're playing. This game's got a whole percentage thing going on. I just kind of don't know how much I'll fool around with that, to be honest with you. So I think I want to change. Can I change? There should be a screen somewhere that says like coaching assignments. Here we go, coach assignments. I want to switch this guy to scouting. And we'll try to hire a second assistant coach that would be good at practicing and developing players. So that's what we'll focus on. That being said, we'll look at these second assistants again. Yeah, this Ross Shivers. Honestly, let's see, Marcus Oliver has the highest player development of these top 4, but he's got the lowest in offense. Let's see if we come down to these next 4. I'm trying to see if there's a coach that's like good at offense, good at defense, and good at player development all at the same time, or at least mediocre. But there aren't a ton of those. We do have this guy who is a 65 on offense, 43 on defense, and 54 on player development. Here's a guy that's 74 on player development, 54 and 46 on offense and defense. You know what? I kind of do like that Kevin Branson here. One of the higher ones we can get that does the player development and isn't terrible at offense or defense. And we won't have him on scouting, so it doesn't matter that his scouting numbers are really poor. So we'll go ahead and offer Kevin Branson a job as second assistant. He's asking for, I mean, that's a big range, 29,000 to 137,000. Uh, we can try. Let's see, somewhere in the middle of that is what, 80,000, 85,000 for 3 years, maybe. I don't want to lowball him though. Let's do 100,000 for 3 years. Let's see if he'll sign with us for that. He actually took a job with Boston College. Well, that stinks. Uh, Man, someone stole Steve Beckwith from us. That was the guy really good at recruiting that was with us. That really stinks. Well, here we are. Wow. Okay. Well, now we have 2 spots open. Well, obviously we want to replace that guy with as good of a recruiter as possible. This guy is 100 at recruiting, which means, I mean, hey, you can send this guy off to anybody and make a big impact, I would think. He is at UNLV. Yeah, let's go ahead and, I don't want to lowball this guy as much. Let's offer him 119,000 for 3 years at first assistant. Go back to second assistant. Let's look at the higher player development coaches. But I'm also looking for somebody who's not terrible at offense and defense. So most of these coaches aren't great at At least one or the other. You do have this guy here, David Davis. He's only a 51 when it comes to player development, but he does have a 70 on defense, a 56 on offense. He's worth looking at, I think. Or offer him the second assistant job. Okay, we landed both of them, so that's good. I don't feel as bad about where we were as I was just a few moments ago. So again, let's just go back and look at the staff screen. Okay, we are clearly setting James Traylor, not James Taylor, but James Traylor to recruiting, setting David Davis to practice. Okay, they're actually already set. Recruiting, practice, scouting. They're exactly where I want them to be. And we can run the rest of the hiring phase. As I was saying earlier, though, while this completes, well, let's see, year-end task. I don't know what that means. It's time to perform a couple of tasks before the new season begins. The school's board of directors is looking forward to meeting with you, and you will have an opportunity to request either an upgrade on your facilities, an increase in your budget, or ask the board for some patience in meeting your goals. There is no guarantee the board will accept your request. Now, we are in a sandbox mode, so we really can't be fired. The whole point of this series is to see like how many championships we can win before the end of the series, which will probably be next March, Lord's willing. So we'll see if so many championships we can get before then is the whole goal. So there's really no point in asking for patience with goals because there's no way that we could be fired for failing goals, really. So we're going to ask either for an upgrade in facilities or an increase in budget. And honestly, as Kentucky, our budget is already pretty high. So the thing to ask for, I would think, would be an upgrade in facilities. And we can actually look at, I believe, school info. Here we go. This should tell us on this page what our facilities are like. And as you can see, we are an A+. So if I'm being completely honest with you, we're kind of pretty good right now. Now, I have played versions of this game in the past, and over time, I've seen the facilities drop. There is a built-in feature to where if you have state-of-the-art facilities in one year, as time goes on, that starts to dwindle a little bit. So maybe in time we can ask for better facilities. Right now, it's kind of pointless. So since asking for better facilities is pointless and asking for more time to meet goals is pointless, we will ask for a raise in the budget. But even then, if they deny that, we're not really hurting on that front either. So Yeah, here we are. Uh, we can see, oh, this is actually new. I've never seen this before. So here are, down here is the recruits coming in. And as you can see, we've we've done pretty well. These are our players that weren't seniors that were left on the team. And Dion Allen is declared for the draft, as we know. Antonio Brooks has declared for the draft, as we know. Looks like Adam Young, Dominique Burns, Rudy Kennard, who we didn't even get to see play really, David Watson, and Dwayne Montague are all unlikely to transfer. So that leaves open Marino Roma, Will Davenport, and Alex Blair. They are all at a chance to transfer. Now, these guys, particularly Blair and Davenport, actually played pretty good minutes for us in the tournament games. Roma, not so much, but I still would like to keep these guys because basically it means hanging on to a player and having to do less recruiting. So if I'm being honest, I don't know why. Let's see. This guy's team relationship's a little bit off for Alex Blair. Davenport. Davenport actually is happy on both those fronts. I don't know what to do to help keep him. Roma is also good on both fronts. So now when it says asked to change primary position, I don't know what that means. Does that mean position they're playing at? Either way, let's for Alex Blair, let's choose to improve team relationship. I want to put coach relationship on these guys, but I don't know if that helps anything. Oh, we're going to ask for an increase in budget. So, oh, okay. All sorts of emails piling in. And our request was denied, but we're fine. Not worried about not having a bigger budget. We have plenty of money. Alex Blair. Still not sure what his future holds. That's okay. Well, that's not good. Will Davenport feels even worse. Roma's not sure. Okay. Let's see what that means. I'm a little worried about doing the transfer portal thing because that has been in previous games, but I've always let the computer do that. But I don't want to do that for this series. I want to do it myself. So we will see what that consists of. Hopefully I'm not terrible at that. But yeah, I've tried to bring it up a few different times. The college football game, and once again, I think we're about to be through this part. Uh, I'm excited about trying it, but I haven't bought it yet. Been reading some things online how the polling system And the Dynasty mode has a lot of bugs with some things not making sense. So that's a little disappointing. We have the 5th best recruiting class coming in, so that's pretty good. Couple of different moves in the conferences, but nothing that concerns us really. Okay, so now we're on budgeting. Let's see. We have 4 scholarships open for next season, so we'll be doing that. I'm just going to click AI suggest one time. And then advance on that one. So probably at least a couple more weeks before I try the new college football game though. Hopefully they can add an update. Like I've seen some instances that people had where it's like a team is 9-0 and they're barely ranked at the top 25, or a team is like 6-4 and they're like a top 5 team, or I've seen just some weird stuff like that. Davenport's still on the team. Roma's still on the team. Yeah, Alex Blair transferred. That stinks. Over the next 5 weeks, you will have opportunities to recruit players who have transferred from other schools. Remember, under new rules, transfers are able to immediately play. To begin the transfer portal session, number 1, click the advance button in the left side menu. You can also skip the sessions button to see them through the remaining stages. Before we do that, let's look at the layout of the team. We do have 11 players, but I am a little concerned. As you can see, we still don't have the star power I would like to have for this team. Point guard wise, we're pretty well off. We have Jamal Milton, who's a 3.5-star freshman, and Dana Church, who's a 2-star freshman. And these guys both have potential to be better players. So point guard wise, probably not looking to do too much there. We have 2 shooting guards. They both kind of stink. We have Mario Roma, who's a 1.5-star junior, and Dwayne Montague, who's a half-star senior. So we probably do need a good 2 guard. At the 3, we've got Kevin Eaton and Adam Young. Adam Young is not great. So maybe we could go for a 3. At the 4, we've got Esmond Card, Will Davenport, David Watson. Pretty good at the 4. We can kind of see why Blair asked to transfer. There is a lot of competition at the 4, so that makes sense. And at the 5, we got Dominic Burns and Rudy Kennard, and that's a little bit better than our 2 and 3 positions. So I think maybe we can look for a 2, a 3, and a 5 when it comes to transfers. We'll see. I've never done this, so here we go. The transfer stage. So do we have 3? 3 scholarships to work with, I think. Is this overall here? Now this guy is an A on overall, but he is a 4. We don't really need a 4. Here's a 3 that's top 5 for us. He played for Gonzaga last season. Eric King, who's a 3-star player. We probably played against this guy in the tournament. He could really help us out quite a bit, honestly. So we will look at Eric King. Let's see. Scout player. Gouge interest. Media kit. I don't know what that means. We'll click it. Campaign. And offer scholarship. Okay. Most of these other players that are interested aren't great players. These are all D's when it comes to overall. We could use a 2. Here's a 2 from Washington, but he did not play a lot last season. It's a 2-star player. Here's a 5 who played for Villanova. He's a 2, but potential 4. Hey, Rob Thomas, I do believe, and I'm not even a big fan, I just know this. Is that not the name of the lead singer of Matchbox 20? Anyway, we have Rob Thomas as a possible candidate for center. Actually, the rest of these guys, it isn't that they're terrible. We just don't know anything about them. So here's a 2 that averaged 7 points a game last season for Wisconsin. So he's probably pretty good. He's a top 5 for us. Let's do about points per game. Here's a 3 that averaged 8 points a game for Connecticut. We've already got a scholarship offer to a 3, though, who's pretty good. So we'll not look at him for right now. Yeah, I think Marlowe is our best option for the 2. Okay, we have one more scholarship to work with. I say we give it to a 5. We have Mike McKnight, who last played for Pitt. 6 points a game, 3 rebounds. Those are decent numbers. The rest of these guys have a low interest in us, so I'm trying to shoot for players that we at least have some kind of some kind of chance of landing pretty easily. But those numbers aren't terrible. They at least provided some kind of production. Where did he go to? He's above. We went too far down. Here we go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll scout and gouge interest from Mike McKnight here. And let's advance. If we can land those three, I think that would help us quite a bit. I still don't know that we'll be fantastic in the second season. I think it's going to take some time to be a really good team. I think we did land one guy. Our number went up from 11 to 12. So we added Jeff Marlowe. So let's check out Jeff Marlowe. Yeah, he's a 3-star player who last played for Wisconsin. I mean, that's pretty cool. He averaged 7.4 points per game for them. Shoots about 31% from three, which is not great, honestly. Pretty good free throw shooter. Pretty good defender. Pretty good at getting steals. Pretty good at defensive rebounding. So not a great scorer or shooter, but a pretty good defensive player who can hit most of his free throws. So not a bad pickup. And we needed somebody at the 2, so he'll probably be our starting 2. So we'll have Milton and Marlowe as our doing most of our guard play this upcoming season. But we still need to land a good 3. And maybe one other 5. But now it's time for our second session of trying to land transfers. King is still available here at the 3 who we were trying to land earlier. Did his star rating take a hit? Wasn't he a 3-star? 2.5 still wouldn't hurt us too bad. He's down between Kentucky or Pacific. So yeah, we'll try to land him once again. Is everyone low now except for King? Yeah, the guy that we were looking at earlier, the guys that were on the board earlier, they must have all already decided on other schools. We may as well shoot for the top, honestly. Well, this guy looks like he wants to go to a mid-major. So Man, Indiana State's really getting some good looks from big guys. Yeah, let's look at centers only. Are there any players that are looking to join? Most of these players want to join mid-majors, probably for the minutes. Well, I don't want to just completely not try. We might as well go all out. Let's Anthony Gundry, who played for South Dakota last season, averaged 21-6, so he's probably a pretty good player. So let's go ahead and at least try for it. I mean, we might as well. We landed another player. We landed Eric King. So we do welcome the 3 Eric King, and then we have 3.5-star point guard, a 3-star 2 guard, a 2.5-star small forward. We have 2 different 2.5-star power forwards, and we have a 2-star center. Well, Davenport played center for us some last season, so he can actually play center as well. So, I mean, should we leave it at that? I'm wondering if this scholarship will kind of roll over to the rest of our scholarships. And I'm also wondering if this budget is what rolls over to the rest of your recruits for next season, because we don't want to spend a bunch of money on a player who's not we have no chance at landing. And as we saw last time, we had no fives or really anybody else that was interested. We still have absolutely no one really interested in joining Kentucky. We did land a good 2 and a good 3, so I think I'm going to call it a day in terms of transfer portal players. So we did pick up a couple of good pickups. We can actually just go ahead and advance past this stage. I don't want to use all of our recruiting money and scholarships toward players. Well, I guess it wouldn't be scholarships because they would just say no and not take a scholarship. But don't want to use all of our money, throw it away on trying to recruit players. We have no chance at landing. So I'm just going to skip sessions for the rest of the transfer portal session. hopefully I'm hoping for some news on this upcoming week on NBA 2K25. I always get 2K every year. There was one year where I skipped 2K, which was 2K21, because I was kind of disappointed. I pre-ordered NBA 2K20, and I did not like the direction the series was going at the time. So I actually did not pre-order NBA 2K21. I actually didn't even buy the game that year. I completely skipped that year and went back to playing some of the classics. And I didn't even get 2K22 until really late into its cycle. But 2K23, when they added the eras, I thought was really cool. And last year, uh, they also revamped the Jordan mode from NBA 2K11 that year, which was really cool. And then last year we had a Kobe Bryant mode that was like the Jordan mode, which was a little underwhelming. I like Kobe. Was never the biggest Kobe fan, but I did generally like him, especially toward the end of his career. It's kind of the middle period of Kobe's career that I was not a big Kobe guy. He was beating out some of my favorite teams, but a couple of the games I feel like they should have had as part of that Mamba mode, but they didn't have. It's a little underwhelming in terms of the games they didn't put on there, but it was still fun. So hopefully this year they have something else like that, or um, the biggest thing I think with the 2K series is they need to. In the My NBA mode, there's a ton of bugs that have been there for years, particularly with computer controlled teams not signing their second round draft picks. There needs to be better presentation when it comes to playing the, especially the eras, but even the modern day stuff, I think could use some work on presentation. So we'll see if there's anything like that. I'm pre-ordering this year regardless because of Reed Shepherd. Excited to play as Reed and Rob Dillingham. It's one of my favorite rookie classes of the past couple seasons because of the Kentucky players involved. So I've already got mine pre-ordered, but hopefully we get some news on that this upcoming week. But enough rambling about that. The transfer portal session is now over. And now we are on to summer travel. And yeah, we're going to. I just clicked AI Suggest on one. Just do AI Suggest, but hopefully we can land some good recruits for next season. Man, guys, it's already been like 45 minutes. The off-season portion of the college basketball season is certainly longer than the off-season portion of the pro basketball series. Wow, we can see Antonio Brooks was selected first. Wow. I did not expect that. 2, 3, and 4 were all Villanova players who we lost to in the Sweet 16. So it was a really good team. We played really close. Dion Allen went 16th in the draft. But wow, I didn't expect Brooks to go first. Well, the recruiting begins. I'm wondering if we should just end the video here and I can try to upload another video very soon, hopefully, that has to do with the recruiting. We'll just do a video on the transfer portal and worry about recruiting in the near future. That's what we'll do. It's getting pretty late. So I think we'll go ahead and end the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We landed a couple of good players that should be productive. Oh, we picked up a couple of red shirts, or not red shirts, but walk-ons, maybe, because we do have 15 of 15 players now. Yeah, we landed Brad Rowland from Barberville, Kentucky, who is a walk-on. And Nigel Farmer from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, who is a walk-on. So we did pick up a couple of walk-ons to fill those empty slots. One thing I do want to look at real quick before we end the video is the depth chart. Yeah, so this is how our starting lineup looks. We have Dana Church at the point, Marlowe at the 2, King at the 3, Watson at the 4, Davenport at the 5. Honestly, that lineup is not terrible. Pretty decent. We'll have Milton at the 6th man, and yeah, that should hopefully that'll work out all right. Desmond Carr, I feel like, should be getting more playing time. Well, you know, all these guys are getting an equal amount of playing time just because Milton is put in front of Card or Montague is put in front of Card doesn't necessarily mean they'll get more minutes than Card. Over here, you can see they're all equaled out to having the same amount of playing time. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So, yeah, this is how our lineup will look like this upcoming season. So hopefully we can do okay with this lineup. I'm a little bit skeptical. We are ranked 22nd going into the season. Last season we were ranked 23rd. So oh no. Well, I just skipped the first week of recruiting. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, hopefully, man, I skipped a whole week of recruiting. You know what? That's okay. Since I did that, I don't want to go back. Let's look at the Kentucky players. You do want to land the top Kentucky player if possible. There is a 5-star Kentucky player in Courtney Meyer. Okay, we're still good, I think. We're still on the top of his schools. From Bedford, Kentucky. So we will offer, we'll go ahead and do a 1 week of recruiting, and then we'll do the rest of the recruiting in a different video. I really scared myself there. Let's offer a scholarship, watch list, call list, watch film, scout live, host recruit. All right, so we did offer the top Kentucky player in the state a scholarship. And he is a 4, so we still have 3 other scholarships to try to land. Honestly, there's a 2 here from Lamont Berry is from Benton, Kentucky, from Marshall County. David Bailey is from Manchester, Kentucky, from Clay County High School, which is pretty close to nearby where I live, about an hour or so away. We could go ahead and offer, I mean, those are pretty good players, 2 4-star players. Let's click off Kentucky, though. We've already got 1 Kentucky player. We've sent a scholarship, so let's look at the top recruits left that we can land. Here's another 4 named, or I'm sorry, another 5 named Troy Williams, but we've already got that 4 coming in from Kentucky, so I may refrain from that one. Here's Lamont Berry once again. And David Bailey. I mean, we could, these are 2 Kentucky players. Let's go by stars here. Here's a 3. Tate Fuse from Tennessee. We are on his list. He's a 5-star 3. You know what? We'll go ahead and watch list and call list him. We got 2 others to work with. Here is a 5-star center from Tennessee, Mark Gregory. We are on his list. So we have a, wait, offer scholarship. Okay, we have a 3, a 4, and a 5. We are targeting. And here's a point guard, Jevin Huggins from Wisconsin. Kentucky is kind of far down his list. Let's look a little bit farther down. Here's a 2-guard, Reginald Lyons from Nevada. Not really on his radar either. There's a Raymond Smith from Illinois. Not on his list, really. Don't see anything for Anthony Jordy. Okay, so I think those are the 5 stars that we'll go after. Let's go after Lamont Berry. We might as well. He's from nearby. I think we can land him pretty easily. We actually aren't his tops. Looks like he might be looking to go to a mid-major, but you could always throw out the, hey, you're a Kentucky boy, you belong at Kentucky card. So we'll go ahead and we'll offer him a scholarship. Let's go through a week and see how things look. Make sure we haven't completely shot ourselves in the foot by skipping a week of recruiting. I hate that I did that. Mark Gregory seems to really like his visit, so that's cool. Tate Fuse said the visit was awesome. That's cool. Courtney Meyer said the visit was incredible. That's pretty cool. So we had 3 players say they really enjoyed the campus. So that's pretty cool. Get to these summer camps. We're back to the second, or I guess the third session of recruiting, since we completely skipped the first session. Yeah, all 3 of these guys, Courtney Meyer, we're now the #1 school on Courtney Meyer's list, so that's pretty cool. Of course, he is the Kentucky boy, so I think that one will be an easy get for us. Mark Gregory, we're #3. So yeah, still in the running for Mark Gregory. Tate Fuse, we are #5 still. And Barry, we're on the list now for Barry, so we'll end there. Hopefully we don't skip any more weeks of recruiting. It's very easily done. And we'll see you next time.